Paradoxically, we understand change, the nature of change, to be one of the few permanents or permanent items in life. Those which are inevitable we usually colloquially call birth, death and taxes. These are the inevitables. Change is, as we've said, the constant. But then there is that which is the absolute, the immovable, the unchanging. A usual word for this unchangingness, the quality of that which doesn't change, is me, I. Yet this seems at odds with the idea that this body, my attitudes, my beliefs, my environment, my psychology, my emotionology, have gone through numerous changes, seasons, groups, beliefs, difficulties, struggles, births, deaths and marriages have created a narrative, a changingness that, yes, we can readily see has constantly been occurring, yet these are the things, the relative objects of a life, a home, a relationship, an attitude, a way of being, a career, a direction, beliefs, experiences. These are the things that make up the changingness of the human waltz. Yet the person, not the personality, but the person, this seemingly singular, subjective point of view that we understand other people to be having their own version of, is in fact a common experience. The how of experience is a static function. We experience the world through senses, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, feeling, and the sixth sense, and the nuances within that paradigm of a sense of our environment, a sense of danger, a sense of the body, a sense of emergence, that feeling of energy that we have as human beings. We may lay in bed at night, just as I do. We close our eyes and there's a seeming sound of the body, the energetic sensation of being a person, of consciousness, of the power, the electricity of the human experience, the sound of being, still consistent. These are, although also things, have objective qualities, that is, they can be described, and you may or may not, but probably are relating to those things. It's the common experience of the human animal. We know not what other animals experience. We make assumptions, we can scientifically look at physiological responses of other animals. We can observe fight or flight in other creatures, in the battle for dominance, structure, survival, and surrender to death in the end of all sentient life forms. But the experience is a common experience when, regardless of the qualities of how a dog might see the world, different colours, different tones, different widths and heights, to humans or any other animal, however they see, or birds who clearly see a world many times just below them as they're given the gift of flight. We can probably assume, not scientific facilities those two, that the experience of seeing, or the knowing of seeing, is a common experience across all creatures and teachers. We observe a world. Now, the conditions in which we're born and the time frame in history that govern perception and how we perceive a world and how we relate to a world and how we navigate a world and whether and why and if we prefer what we're seeing to what we have once seen. Do I like this experience? Do I dislike this experience? Do I like this clip on YouTube? Do I dislike this clip on YouTube? Change culturally, locally, familiarly, individually, as the subject experiences the world of objects. The subject is unchanging. The story of the subject changes, but the subject remains a point of focus, a locality for the human experience. And even the body and the mind are appearing inside of consciousness as concepts. We assume the body to be the thing in which there's a power that we call consciousness. Matter contains consciousness, and without consciousness, the matter dissipates and vanishes and is vanquished by the absence of a power called consciousness. Our human assumption is, our human world is based on this idea. Yet, consider that without consciousness we can't conceptualize or know the experience of a body, let alone a world. The idea of a body happens in consciousness. The idea of a world happens in consciousness. When we dream, consciousness, or awareness, is a more accessible term, is that which observes the dream and the dreamt. And we wake up and we have that first thought of the day. Even before often the thought, I am awake, we think, oh, it was a dream. But a waking world appears out of the dreamt world, which arguably is another dreamt world. I don't mean this is all an illusion. I mean, it's a world of objects, forms, people, places and things, clamours for satisfaction, definition, comfort, success, esteem, approval, purpose, the questions of the human dance, the human waltz, where that is meted out through the experience of the human being as a sensory creature. We look, we see, we taste, we touch things. We desire things, we crave for things. We loathe things, we hate things. We wish to escape things, and we, in the end, some wish to escape the dream. And in the end, that which is certain, the certainty and certitude of the end of this dance of the human waltz finally is given. But it is that, and this is one of the assumptions that certain spiritual tribes make, that it is that only the body that evaporates in this dream, that it is only the individuated mind that evaporates in this dream. Known as a very nice guy, Keanu Reeves was asked recently by Richard Colbert, what do you think happens when you die? As Keanu said. He thought for a moment, very wise. I believe the people that love you will miss you. What a wonderful way to articulate all that we do know about the end of the body and the end of the mind. That we don't know. We have some very good guesses. One, some, any of them might turn out to be true. None of us knows. None of us really knows. We believe, and there's a lot to be said about the nature of belief. Did we not all believe in Santa Claus or Father Christmas? Have we not all had beliefs that have been replaced by a belief in the very opposite once we've experienced the thing for ourselves? And none of us on this plane with the narrative about death, because death belongs to the living as a concept. Death belongs to the dead as an experience, but none have come back from that experience to say this is what the experience is. nor what the experience is like. But we apply belief because in this stream of life, we want to know about whether we can control the ultimate change that we have to look forward to. It doesn't matter. It's not important what anyone believes. And this is our experience right here, right now, spontaneous living, that unchangingness of the subjective stance, the common experience we all share in which we unify. We come together in a shared experience of the human waltz. And together, as we navigate the changingness of the human experience, again individually, communally, familiarly, culturally, internationally and globally, in our very unchangingness, our shared experience of the human waltz, where we are unified, we can take care of each other, we can look after those that have less than. We can ask questions of those that have more than enough. Sometimes we get these things out of sync. And those of us, most of us, that are somewhere around the middle of that spectrum every day, as I myself could be said to be, though I do lead a life of, and have led a life of, terrible suffering, but also constant privileges in certain ways that I can't apologise for. It's just the lot. But I don't underestimate the value of that and the givenness of that. That life has done life to me. Change has occurred. Change I've never wanted. Loss, addiction, suffering, elongated pain, bleak days, bleak seasons, bleak years, illness, sickness, brushes with mortality. That turned out to be the very richness of being this guy that have enabled this talk. Change is the constant, both and, not either or, and trying to resist change persists a difficulty with change. Embrace the spontaneous, be here now, and let's unify in that place and find that and uncover that, the happiness we seek by modulating the externals of our lives in order to sufficiently feel fluidity on the internals of our life, are already who we are in the qualities of knowing that unchangingness as an apparent human being. And love regardless, and love to you regardless.